Husband wants a divorce and a start over because he can't bond with our daughter.
Wait, sorry, I missed that.
Husband wants to divorce and start over because he says he can't bond with our daughter.
The fuck?
Yeah.
That one reeks Theo.
That one does reek of VO or a brain injury. Throw away because I want to fix this and I'm paranoid about more people in our lives finding out. It's also fucked up already and I don't want more stress. My husband, 29 male, and I, 30 ND, have been married for 5 years. I gave birth to our first child in September, a girl. My husband was present for most of my labor, but things went very pear-shaped and I had to have an emergency C-section. The doctors told him to leave the room and wait outside. In short, he did not see our daughter be born. A week ago, he informed me that he wants a divorce and start over on his dreams of having a family. He insists that he cannot bond with our daughter and says it's because he didn't see her being born. He said a lot about how it's always been a dream of his to have this small, close-knit family, and now he can't have that with me because of the C-section and not being in the room. His dad suggested therapy.
Yeah.
But husband refused, saying he knew it wouldn't work. I've made sure he knows I'm open to the idea if he changes his mind. Why? But he's been very insistent that he knows this can't be fixed. Part of me knows I'm basically asking for a magic spell here, but does anyone have any ideas how, if, this can even be fixed? I'll try to answer any questions anyone may have.
I'm just fucking baffled. What the fuck?
We're 3 for 3 now on episodes that contain a birthing story where the people who are having the baby have just never had a fucking conversation before. If you have such strong feelings, one way or the other, about being there in the room for your child's birth, why was it not a discussion before the pregnancy?
I mean, this day and age that he didn't go into the actual C-section is because I do know those. Not that girl for a shit.
You can, but it can be like a rush.
Oh, yeah, she would have been under general, which means she wasn't also there. She wasn't there for birth either.
Thank you for the midwife in the room for speaking up and letting me know what's going on.
There's time to get
Also-
the general and the partners there. So she was asleep. So they both missed her.
That guy just doesn't deserve a kid. What the fuck? If you can't bond with that fucking kid, you're fucking, he wants out.
If you can't bond with this kid for this reason, then
Because
honestly,
you
you're
want
not emotionally mature enough to be attempting to raise one in any way, state or form.
Yeah.
So you want to start over, you start over by going to fucking therapy and figuring out what's going on there. You don't jump to attempting to have another child with someone else.
No.
Don't do that.
What the, but also, that poor child. What the fuck, dude? Get your shit together. Go to therapy.
As someone with a shit parent that should not have had kids, that child will be fine. If he leaves and stays gone, that is the best case fucking scenario.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But also, what the fuck, dude? He got super issues. If he thinks just because he didn't see the kid come out the vajayjay or the kid come out the stomach. I agree.
Honestly,
I
on
agree.
an emotional level, always imagining being there and not knowing the emotional impact it would have to not be there because you never expected that to ever be a thing that happened. Absolutely fair. Any sort of devastation you would feel at not being there, real, valid, feel that. But this,
Yeah, that's right.
being their reaction,
Is this trauma of seeing his baby resus because of the general? So that's why he's not in the room, because the baby.
Yeah,
has to
but-
be.
Also, if this is her first child, is this his first child?
Yeah.
Because then he wouldn't know the difference of being in the room or not being in the room. He's just not bonding with the kid.
failing to realize that bonding is an active process.
Yes. It's
It
not a...
Kind
it's
of
not
doesn't
a-
happen by osmosis.
Yeah.
It's not magic. Like, it's not, you got to work for it.
You gotta work for it. And it's a constant thing. It's not just like, hey, I see it pop out. Saw its first second of its life.
Yeah. And as someone who has, even though we don't use these words in our household, like a step parent raising my oldest kid, you don't need to be there for any period of time before that relationship starts. So long as when you do get involved, all of you is involved.
Yep. Truth, my stepdad is my dad.
Yeah. Oh,
And he came late in life.
At very school, the way he talks about him, because they're like, oh, so who's the dad and who's the other dad? And it's like, they're both the other dad, because it's, oh, I went to my dad's this weekend, not Ben, my other dad, Luke. Or I was playing Magic the Gathering this weekend, not with Louis, my other dad, Ben. So it all comes down to the context of the story.
all- yeah.
But at school, what this means, because I'm never fucking around, because I'm not dealing with school politics or mums or whatever. I can't do that. They just think that Verena has 2 gay dads. And my husband plays into that so much come Father's Day.
That's amazing.
And Luke fucking hates it.
I might drink everywhere.
Update. I wanted to update and thank everyone who sympathized with me and tried to help. There isn't much new, but some things have happened. I can't link my first post according to the rules, but the 2 posts are the only ones this throwaway has, so it should be easy to find. I gave birth in September. Things went badly. Several people suggested asking him to come with me to a therapist so I can get help understanding why he's leaving. He agreed, and our appointment was yesterday. It didn't go badly, but it didn't go well either. He was very upfront with the therapist. He didn't try to mince words or refuse to answer questions. He told the man, paraphrasing, they got to bond the entire pregnancy. That baby is made of their body. I can't compare to that. My work started at birth and I wasn't there, so I feel like I never got hired, if that makes sense. Valid. Yeah, he compared it to not having an employment contract. I get the metaphor, I guess, but I'm not sure how it translates to him not being able to bond. Several people made transphobic comments and several other people asked if maybe my lack of gender was an issue. I assume no, because husband had known that I'm non-binary since before we started dating, but I did bring it up while we were in there with the therapist. Husband insists that no, it has nothing to do with anything. He didn't care about what I am, but how I did. The therapist was very focused on trying to help me understand, and I appreciate that. No complaints with him. I'm still completely in the dark, though, and husband has started talking about choosing a lawyer. He says he wants a clean break before daughter gets too attached. Attached how? If you can't bond with her, how's she attached?
She ain't attaching.
Where's the attachment?
She's not attaching.
But it was hard. Why didn't you get to the hospital?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mine weren't getting the fuck out, so I had to be induced both times. They had to be forcibly evicted. There was a comment here. My stepbrother got diagnosed with schizophrenia a couple of years ago after he left his girlfriend, and he's been in an inpatient facility since. Unfortunately, it's advanced enough that he needs 24/7 care. This is essentially in relation to a major life change, essentially triggering like the onset of schizophrenia, which is possible, but usually if that is what's happening here, there would be significantly more erratic behavior. It would not just be about this one thing. It would be global to many different aspects of his life. And at the onset, there's a significant amount of paranoia. Like if it's, I can't bond with this baby because it was clearly replaced. This is a changeling child. I wasn't there to see the birth. Like that kind of shit would be happening. It's never this mild. So valid consideration. Don't think that's relevant here. And our final update. We've filed for divorce. I have taken daughter and moved back in with my parents, who aren't very happy about the divorce, but are thrilled to have a chance to nanny daughter. Life was in stasis for about a week after my post until father-in-law asked us to come over for dinner. He informed me that soon-to-be ex has asked for his help paying for a lawyer. He'd agreed with the requirement that we all sit down and have one last talk about the situation. He opened with saying he thinks that getting this over with would be best for me and daughter. Soon-to-be ex looked a little hurt at this, so he's willing to help, but he wanted to take one last shot at fixing it. The one last shot ended up being several hours of talking. Father-in-law bluntly demanded that soon-to-be-ex explain his reasoning. Soon-to-be-ex repeated the can't bond thing. Father-in-law asked why. The employment contract analogy was brought up again after much back and forth. What do you mean by this? Why that? Father-in-law just said, I'm not buying this. What's the real reason? He insisted until the end what he'd been saying all along was his reasoning. He didn't see our daughter be born and so he can't bond. He tried, he insisted. The connection isn't there. He was supposed to connect when daughter was born. There was supposed to be a spark of connection between them, but that spark can only happen right at birth, I guess. Girl, it is not love at first sight. Honestly, if you felt a deep connection to a fresh baby, I'd be more concerned for your mental health there, my guy. Especially as a C-section, like that is some alien shit. If you're feeling good about that rather than like, there's something wrong with you. Father-in-law asked if soon-to-be-ex thought daughter wasn't his. He insists he has no doubt he is the daughter's biological father. Father-in-law asked if soon-to-be-ex was seeing someone else. Was there a woman or another pregnancy somewhere? He did not react well to this. He threw his phone down on the table and said that we were free to search it. He's not a scumbag. I mean, you are, whether or not you're cheating.
Yeah.
After that conversation turned to the post-divorce life. He offered up that he'd been running the numbers and would volunteer $50 a month alimony and $50 a month in child support. He doesn't have to do either, mind, because we're divorcing and he wants to cut all ties with the kid, but he wants to be fair. Whatever, I have a job and a roof over our heads. I don't need it. $50 in child support, that is a lot less, whatever. But I'm refusing to stress about it. The court will handle it. I'm making myself not be angry and let them deal with it. I admit I tuned out most of the rest of father-in-law's attempts to talk sense into his son after that comment. I think that was just when the coffin finally nailed itself shut. I started packing when we got home and went to my parents' house the next day. I'm no longer talking to soon-to-be ex. His lawyer talks to mine. We haven't spoken in almost 3 weeks. I don't think I need to tell you he hasn't shown any concern for daughter, but here I am anyway. The day after I got there, my sister kidnapped me to her place. We got very drunk. Daughter was with parents, not us. Talked about everything and I screamed a lot. I got most of it out of my system and after that we had more drinks and watched terrible horror movies. I woke up the next day with the headache from hell but otherwise feeling better than I had in a long time. My job can transfer me, just my luck, but I've been promised a glowing reference and I'm cashing out what little paid leave I have to add to my savings. Father-in-law asked me after the failed conversation if I would be cutting him off. I assured him that he might not see us as much because of how far away my parents live and not knowing where I'll end up, but he's not getting rid of me or daughter that easily. He was very happy to hear that. Well, I mean,
I think it's a good end to that story.
yeah, like if you're going to be an absent parent, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, completely absent.
Rather than being an emotionally absent present parent, existing in the same house is not the same as being a present parent or engaged parent.